In recent years, the European Union has taken a proactive stance in regulating major tech companies to ensure fair competition and protect consumer rights. One of the primary targets of these regulations is Apple Incorporated, which is facing significant scrutiny under the EU's sweeping digital rules. The European Union's competition chief has highlighted very serious issues with Apple's business practices, raising questions about the company's compliance with new regulations designed to curb anti-competitive behavior and enhance digital market transparency. Apple is facing a number of very serious issues with its Digital Markets Act compliance in Europe, EU Competition Commissioner Margrethe Vestager said in an interview. The European Union has raised concerns about Apple's business practices, citing very serious non-compliance issues with the bloc's digital business law. Margrethe Vestager, the EU's competition commissioner, revealed that the European Commission is close to revealing the results of its investigation under the Digital Markets Act. This act aims to regulate the behavior of tech giants designated as the Internet's gatekeepers. Specifically, EU officials are examining whether Apple has fully complied with rules requiring it to allow third-party developers to direct customers to cheaper product offers outside their app stores. If found in violation, Apple could face fines of up to 5% of its average daily worldwide turnover, which amounts to over $1 billion per day. The charges would mark the first time EU regulators have pursued a big tech firm for violations of the Digital Market Act. The European Union's Digital Markets Act and Digital Services Act are two landmark regulations aimed at creating a safer and more competitive digital space. The Digital Market Act focuses on preventing gatekeepers, large companies that control access to digital markets, from engaging in unfair practices. It seeks to ensure that these gatekeepers do not abuse their market power to stifle competition or disadvantage consumers. The Digital Service Act, on the other hand, addresses the responsibilities of online platforms in managing content and protecting users. These regulations have far-reaching implications for tech giants like Apple, which is classified as a gatekeeper due to its significant control over the app market through the App Store and its influence over various digital services. Apple's business model, particularly its App Store policies, has come under intense scrutiny. The EU has raised concerns about the company's restrictive practices, such as forcing developers to use Apple's payment system and imposing high commission fees. These practices are seen as limiting competition and exploiting Apple's dominant position in the market. Moreover, Apple's strict control over app distribution on iOS devices is viewed as a barrier to market entry for smaller developers and competitors. The European Union's competition chief, Margrethe Vestager, has pointed out that these issues are not just minor regulatory concerns but represent very serious challenges that need to be addressed to ensure a level playing field in the digital market. The European Union's stringent stance on digital market regulation poses significant challenges for Apple. Compliance with the Digital Market Act and Digital Service Act may require Apple to make substantial changes to its business practices. This could include allowing alternative payment systems, reducing commission fees, and opening the iOS platform to third-party app stores. Failure to comply with these regulations could result in hefty fines and other penalties. The European Union has the authority to impose fines of up to 10% of a company's global revenue for violations of the Digital Market Act. For a company like Apple, which reported revenues of over $365 billion in 2021, such penalties could be substantial. Potential reforms and Apple's response. Apple has already started to make some adjustments in response to regulatory pressure. For instance, the company has announced changes to its App Store policies in certain markets, such as allowing developers to inform users about alternative payment methods outside of the App Store. However, these changes have been deemed insufficient by European Union regulators, who demand more comprehensive reforms. Apple argues that its strict control over the App Store is necessary to ensure user security and privacy. The company claims that allowing alternative payment systems and app stores could expose users to greater risks. However, critics argue that these concerns are overstated and that Apple can implement measures to safeguard users without engaging in anti-competitive practices. The EU's digital regulations represent a significant shift in how tech giants like Apple are governed. The emphasis on fair competition and consumer protection is driving a re-evaluation of business practices that have long gone unchallenged. Apple's very serious issues under these regulations highlight the broader challenges facing the tech industry as it navigates a new regulatory landscape. For Apple, the path forward involves balancing compliance with these stringent regulations while maintaining its business model and addressing security concerns. The company's response to these challenges will not only shape its future, but also set a precedent for how other tech giants adapt to increasing regulatory scrutiny worldwide. The outcome of this regulatory push will be closely watched, as it holds implications for the future of digital markets and the broader tech ecosystem.